I mean, that really is it. Football in its most pure form. Distilled, raw football. Football heroin is what we saw at Goodison Park. It really was the essence, the pure poetry of football. You will never watch a better football match in your entire life than the one that we saw at Goodison Park last night. It was simply sensational. That is what football is supposed to be. I'm not joking. All these drips ruining the game. Ruin it with their Statman type nonsense. Ruin it with their XG type nonsense. That's not what it's about. What we saw at Goodison Park, the raw, unadulterated football that we saw in that moment is what football is supposed to be. Goodison Park, under the lights, in a hate-filled atmosphere, that is football. And I loved everything about it. Everything that you want to see in a football match happened in that Merseyside Derby. Everything that you could possibly hope for was there on display. It was simply fantastic. And full credit to both teams for making it so brilliant. And full credit to both sets of fans for making it so brilliant. Football can be sterile. Going to football these days can be such a chore. And what we saw at Goodison Park, heartbreakingly, for the final time, was the true soul of football. I feel invigorated. I feel overwhelmed. I feel overjoyed that there is such a thing still as a febrile, snarling, hostile atmosphere. Thank you very much, Goodison Park. Thank you very much to the travelling Liverpool support, because that is what football was supposed to be. Fans and players who clearly despise one another. Truly tremendous. Fans on the pitch celebrating. Brilliant. I mean, the ag after the game with the players. Brilliant. Red cards galore. Brilliant. Just as a derby should be. We had flares going off in the Gladys Street end. We had a pitch invasion in the Gladys Street when Tarkowski scored that goal. We also saw Curtis Jones, the icon, fighting off 3 Everton players to stick up for the travelling Liverpool support. That is exactly what he should be doing. That was a coming-of-age moment for Curtis Jones. That man will forever have my utmost respect for what he did in that moment. Genuinely, they should build a statue to him. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. It is captain material. I've got no issue with Abdoulaye Doucouré, by the way, giving it to the Liverpool fans. Absolutely none. I've also got no issue with the Liverpool fans giving it to Doucouré. It's a derby. That's what it's about. But Curtis Jones, a local lad, a Liverpool player, representing the Liverpool fans effectively, representing the Liverpool fans on the pitch, he can't have that. He can't let that go. Absolutely not. And full credit to Curtis Jones for going over there and making sure that it wasn't acceptable. It was just truly brilliant. And, like I say, nobody's behaved badly in that circumstance, in my opinion. Doucouré's allowed to give it to the fans. The fans would have been giving it to him all game. Jones is allowed to stick up for the support. Nobody needs to be punished and all this. It's fine. It's a derby. It's football. And I tell you what, it was just perfect. I mean, at the end of the game, I heard Rio Ferdinand saying something. He was basically going, you know, this is not great to see. These are the scenes that nobody wants to see. And I was like, you can't mean that, Rio. Like, you can't genuinely believe that. Rio Ferdinand is a man that played at the highest level in the most intense atmospheres, really gave it when his team scored. He had that famous celebration jumping over. He can't actually think that that's not what people want to see. That is what everyone wants to see who gets football, surely. Am I wrong here? If you're watching this, whether you support Liverpool, Everton, or the completely insignificant team in this conversation, surely they are the scenes that everybody wants to see. That is football, isn't it? And in a game that has been so sterilised of late, in a game that has been basically stolen, we have had any passion stolen from the game by the bureaucracy, I thought it was a throwback to the 1970s. And you know, if you want to know what the Goodison Park atmosphere was all about, you know, in a decade's time when there'll be a generation of Everton fans, Evertonians who do not know, they just need to watch that game. Just watch that. That tells you what Everton is all about. It's almost irrelevant who's scoring the goals for Everton, because it would have been like that whether it's Beto scoring the goals or whether it's Graham Sharp or Tony Cottee scoring the goals. It would be like that whether it's Jordan Pickford in goal or Neville Southall in goal. That was football. That was what the game was supposed to be. That is why 1 million people every single weekend travel up and down the country, paying money, committing their lives to following a football team. We saw it there. It was just brilliant. And I tell you what, now this is the amazing thing about football, isn't it? Football is such an emotion, such an emotive topic that you can talk about football for however long this video has been going for, and we haven't actually spoken about any of the football. That's why football is so much bigger than the game. Football is so much bigger. It's cultural. You know, you can live your life in a footballing way. There are so many things to discuss that aren't actually about the football at all. Looking at it strictly through the lens of football, I think that it was, it's been portrayed as being a slight disaster for Liverpool, but it's hardly that. I think it's a really good point. They extended their lead at the top of the league over Arsenal. They're 7 points clear. There's only 14 games to go. Perfect. I don't understand why people are trying to portray this as being negative for Liverpool. I don't understand why people are trying to suggest that there is a chink in the armour here. I don't understand why people are trying to suggest that Arsenal have a glimmer of hope here. We saw nothing in that fixture at Goodison Park to suggest that Liverpool are vulnerable. We saw literally nothing in that fixture at Goodison Park to suggest that Arsenal were capable of usurping Liverpool. Liverpool will win the league. And the reason we know Liverpool will win the league is because of performances like we saw last night at Goodison Park. I don't know if I'm going mad, but everybody's looking at that game going, oh, drop 2 points, title race on, can Arsenal make it count? What are you on about? They got a fantastic point in the most hostile atmosphere that some of those players will ever play in. Away from home, they've got Goodison Park out of the way. They'll never go there again. And I think it's one of those weird games where actually everybody sort of got what they wanted. You saw Everton. Everton sort of celebrated like it was a win. And maybe that shows you where Everton are as a club in relation to Liverpool. That a last-minute draw is a win. But I think on the context of the occasion, you understand why Everton did that. It was a massive, massive moment because if Liverpool had won the game, Liverpool would have won more games at Goodison Park than Everton in their fixtures together. Liverpool fans could literally have said correctly that Goodison Park belonged to them. They beat Everton at Goodison Park more often than they lost. More often than Everton beat them. Whereas because it was a draw, it's level. So it's symbolic as well. It's a historic result. And you can understand why Evertonians went mad. And anyone begrudging them, the celebration police out, anyone begrudging that, I loved it. I loved the pitch invasion. I loved the flares going off. I loved the hostility, the animosity. I thought it's fantastic. It was truly brilliant. But Everton got what they wanted out of the game, and so did Liverpool. This is the crucial thing. Like, Everton wanted to secure what out of the game? Pride, really. The points don't matter to Everton. Not really. Everton will not go down. They will not qualify for Europe. Fair to say, right? It's not controversial. They will not be relegated. They will not qualify for Europe. So the points become fairly insignificant if you're an Evertonian. So it's about so much more than the points. It's about so much more than the league table. It's about pride. Pride in your city. Pride in the badge. History. For Liverpool, it's about the points, man. Liverpool need the points. Liverpool don't really care about anything other than the points at the moment. The other things will matter come the end of the season. But the points are what Liverpool need. Liverpool got the point that they needed. I think it's fair to say. They got the point. They came to Goodison Park. They've created a situation at the top of the Premier League where they have a cushion over Arsenal. Significant cushion. Just preserving that cushion is all you need to do. And the reason that you create a cushion is so that when you go to one of the toughest games of the season, Goodison Park, away from home for the final time, under the lights, in the most intense atmosphere that you'll face, the reason why you've created the cushion in the first place is to allow for these results. So I see no issue why Everton won't be happy. I see no issue for Liverpool to not be happy. I mean, anybody that is somehow looking at this and seeing a world where Liverpool will drop, 7 points in the next 14 games. I don't really see that happening, but it's possible, I guess. But are you seriously telling me that you think Arsenal are a relentless enough force to close that gap? So let's pretend now that Liverpool do drop the 7 points that Arsenal require, the 8 points. Let's pretend that Liverpool drop 10 points between now and the end of the season, which I don't believe will happen. But let's pretend they do. You're telling me that you believe Arsenal can claw that back? You've seen enough in a Saka-less Arsenal team to suggest that they have the minerals, the wherewithal, the desperation to claw that lead back. The 7 points that is the current gap will be extended. It won't be clawed back. Liverpool will win the league by more than 7 points. There will be more than a 7-point chasm between Arsenal and Liverpool come the end of the season. I am convinced. Look at what we saw in that Merseyside Derby. And somebody more intelligent than me, which is a lot of people, somebody more intelligent than me, do me a favour in the comments. Explain to me why this is being seen as good news for Arsenal. What did we learn in the Merseyside Derby that from an Arsenal perspective that can be seen as being good news? Because I can only see it as good news for Liverpool. I was a Liverpool fan watching that. I'll be going, right, we got the fixture out of the way. We didn't get beat. We were very unlucky not to get the victory. We were leading for the vast majority of the game. We showed fight. We showed passion. We showed tenacity. We showed the correct amount of flair and determination. I just don't see where it's gone wrong. Think about what did we learn about Liverpool? We learned that Mo Salah scores another massive goal. Like in this campaign of his, he's already got 46 goal involvements. 27 goals he scored. You're telling me that's not going to lead to him winning the league? Who's going to do something similar to that at Arsenal to stop him winning the league? Like, what else did we learn? We learned that Curtis Jones is there. He's a warrior. We learned that within the Liverpool camp, that there is a real spirit, a real understanding of the culture of Liverpool. What a game at Goodison Park means. Having somebody like Curtis Jones on the pitch is so important. We learned that Virgil van Dijk is the best defender in the league. We already knew, no news here, but Arne Slot, one of the best managers. But we also learned that Arne Slot has an edge, which is a good thing. I feel like a result like that at Goodison Park, far be it from opening the door ajar for Arsenal, it has galvanised Liverpool to an unstoppable degree. I mean, I just don't see a world in which anybody gets close to Liverpool now. I really don't. They are most likely to win the league because they drop points at Goodison Park. Because of the point that they secured at Goodison Park, they are more likely to win the league than less likely. That is how good this Liverpool side are. And anybody that is somehow painting it as being good news for Arsenal, it's just not true. You know, Arsenal are languishing 7 points behind Liverpool. They've won 3 less games. Arsenal are far closer to like Nottingham Forest than they are to Liverpool. And I guarantee you this, that come the end of the season, the chink in the armour will not be Arsenal's. Will not be Liverpool's. It will be Arsenal's. Arsenal will be the team that are struggling. And I guarantee that that is the case. I really do believe that that is the case. I can't see a world where anything changes. Liverpool have gone to Goodison Park in tremendously difficult circumstances. They've played the most intense game that some of these players will ever play. And they've come away from it with a point. Look, Tarkowski's dramatic last-gasp equaliser is going to wrangle. It's going to upset Liverpool. But, I mean, what's it really going to matter? And what we learned was Decore can't take liberties. No manager can take liberties. Come on. Liverpool got to be over the moon with that. Am I wrong? I just think it was a wonderful game. I loved everything about it. Thank you to Everton for contributing the way that they did. They got what they wanted out of it. Bit of pride restored. Moyes doing a great job. But the night sort of belongs to Liverpool. Let me know your thoughts. Really interested to hear what you have to say. Genuinely loved it. Do me a favour. If you've enjoyed this, please click subscribe. It would be my honour to welcome you into this community. Thanks so much.